San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime use.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And a happy Wednesday to everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Fired up on a Wednesday. We're not live at the Loft, but you know what? We're still fired up, getting ready for Padres baseball. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. Rod is in the chat, ready to go. He's fired up on a Wednesday. Padres bludgeoned Milwaukee last night. Now 5-0 against the Brewers on the season, looking for the season sweep against Milwaukee today. And by the way, Padres fans, everything that they needed to go right last night went right. That's about time that happened, huh? I mean, they could have made this a lot easier by doing this, I don't know, like 2 to 3 weeks ago. But a couple of things happened last night. Padres have officially clinched at least the 5 seed in the playoffs. Their magic number for that was 1. They beat up Milwaukee last night. Check, done. Padres guarantee themselves to not be on the same side of the bracket as the Los Angeles Dodgers. So if the Padres have to play the Dodgers in the playoffs, you'll see them in the National League Championship Series. Now, a couple of things, obviously. And I'm going to spend the first kind of segment. We're going to talk more about the game last night. But Major League Baseball, as mentioned before, as mentioned for the last couple of days, is bonkers right now in the final 5 games of the season for most teams, final 4 games of the season for your San Diego Padres. Take a look at the standings, folks. Take a look at the standings. Take a look at what's going on in baseball in the last 5 days of baseball. We have today, we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. These are the last 5 days of the regular season. And things are coming down to the wire. Let's talk about the National League last night. National League last night, couple things that needed to happen. Again, we're talking about from a Padres perspective first, then we'll branch our way out. The Padres last night, magic number was 1 to clinch the 5 seed. And I saw the lineup yesterday. I'm going to tell you right now. And you know what? Good for the Padres. I thought yesterday was going to be a clunker of a game. And then you saw the starting lineup and you're like, okay, time for a lot of rest for the San Diego Padres. But they didn't care. There, guys, we're ready to compete, and I love to see it. Luisa, this is the lineup yesterday. Arise, Bogart, Sheets, Laureano, O'Hearn, Iglesias, Johnson, Fermin, McCoy. Yes, we did lose one in Milwaukee. So they're 4-1 against Milwaukee in their 5 games. Arise, Bogart, Sheets, Laureano, O'Hearn, Iglesias, Johnson, Fermin, McCoy. What a lineup. I don't think Mike Shilt's rolling out with that in a playoff game. So you had the clinch on Monday, and then it's, Fernando is sick. Not going to start Manny Machado. A lot of the guys and the studs are not playing. You got Randy Vasquez on the hill. I mean, this looked like a situation in which the Padres, and people were bitching about it. They're like, I thought we were all in. Why aren't we trying to win? They didn't need to. These guys got the job done last night. Ryan O'Hearn with the grand slam early in the contest to go up 4-0. His 17th homer of the year. Got that thing done early in the first inning. Luis Arise hit a sneaky home run down the right field line. His 8th homer of the year. Jose Iglesias homered for the 2nd day in a row. His 3rd of the season. The bats came out last night despite the fact that they didn't have a lot of their core players in the lineup. Good to see Xander Bogaerts back. I know he went 0 for 4, but these next couple of days are going to get him up to speed. Laureano 1 for 4. O'Hearn 2 for 4. Iglesias 2 for 4. Johnson 1 for 4. A lot of contributions from the offense last night. From a pitching standpoint, Randy Vasquez What a night for Randy Vasquez. 7 innings, no runs, 1 hit, 2 walks, limited the walks, 3 punch-outs. Randy Vasquez last night pitched to make it a decision on whether or not he starts a game in the playoffs. I don't know if he's going to do it or not. But I'm going to tell you right now. Remember, Frank, when we talked about this, about Randy Vasquez, everybody wanted to know why he was going down to AAA. And what did we say on the show? Well, they're probably trying to rest him a little bit. Looks like that's worked out.
It looks like it, huh?
He hit 97 last night. Guy's never hit 97. Had 97 on a fastball to his arsenal. Randy Vasquez looks like he's ready to go. He was outstanding last night. And by the way, he went against Yelich and Chirino and Bryce Terang and Contreras and Freeland. He went against the number 1 seed in the National League. Number 1 seed in the National League, the Milwaukee Brewers, and he shoved. He gave up 1 knock last night. So maybe this is the time for the Padres to really get things into gear. So the Padres win. All right. In terms of things that they could control last night, a win guaranteed that they would have the 5 seed or better. So they don't have to play the Dodgers in the first round of the playoffs, and now they guarantee that they're on the opposite side of the bracket than Los Angeles. That's already great. Let's talk about other games, right? We talked about some scoreboard watching. I said it yesterday. I said it's still relatively a pipe dream. You know, I love when Manny Machado said he loves the doubters. That's great. Fantastic. A lot of the things the Padres can't control. But you know what? Everything that they needed last night to happen happened last night. And I mean everything. Let's start with the next most likely thing to happen. And that is the Padres hosting a wild card series next Tuesday against Chicago. Out of all the things that could potentially happen for playoff seeding, the most likely thing that the Padres currently don't have that they can still get is the 4 seed and flipping with Chicago. And the reason is they have the tiebreaker over the Cubs after the Cubs got swept by Cincinnati over the weekend. So the Padres needed the Cubs to lose to the Mets. And you know what happened? The Cubs lost to the Mets. And not only did they lose to the Mets, they blew a huge lead to the Mets. Mets jumped out to a 1-0 lead in the top half of the first. This is all at Wrigley Field. This is this week. Cubs answered with 2. Cubs then answered with 3 more in the second. They had a 5-1 lead heading into the 4th inning. They added another run in the 4th inning. And Mets fans, I don't want to put words in Frank's mouth, but he probably was like, here we go again. The prophecy, we're not making the playoffs. Cubs were up 6-1 going into the top half of the 5th inning. Mets put up 5 in the 5th. Ties the ball game up at 6. They add another run in the 6th to take a lead. 7-6. Cubs answer in the bottom half, make it 7-7, and then the New York Mets get 2 in the 8th, hold them in the 9th inning, and the Mets win 9-7. That's great news because with the Mets win and the Padres win, the Padres are a game and a half behind Chicago with the Cubs having 5 more to play. Padres have 4 more to play. Cubs will play the Mets tonight and tomorrow, and then they will take on St. Louis over the weekend. We'll talk about what needs to happen in just a little bit for the Padres to pass the Cubs. But that was check mark number 1 on everything the Padres needed to happen happened. Check mark number 2 is still paying attention to Arizona. And I don't mean the Diamondbacks. I mean who's playing in Arizona. And that's the Los Angeles Dodgers. Because for every game back you were with Chicago, you were with the Dodgers currently. So going into last night, you were 2.5 games back from the Cubs and 2.5 games back from the Dodgers. It's less likely that the Padres pass or the Padres get the division because the Dodgers have the tiebreaker over the Padres. So they need an extra game reality-wise on Los Angeles. So we went in order of most likely to happen. So the Cubs obviously now a game and a half behind them. Let's talk about the Dodgers. Dodgers had a 1-0 lead in the top of the 2nd. They had a 3-0 lead in the top of the 6th. They had a 4-0 lead in the top of the 7th inning. And oh boy, here comes the Dodger bullpen. 3 runs given up in the bottom of the 7th inning to make it a 4-3 game in favor of Los Angeles. The bullpen for LA strikes again. They went with Dreyer, gave up 2 runs. Henriquez gave up a run. You thought Alex Vesia was going to cough it up. He holds it down. So now you get to the 9th inning. And in the 9th inning, man, is Tanner Scott the gift that keeps on giving to the Padres. What a great trade for the Padres. What a great trade for the Padres. Padres acquiring Tanner Scott has paid dividends the next year. The guy's been awful. 10 blown saves, a 1-4 record. They go to Tanner Scott in the 9th inning. And the Arizona Diamondbacks play a little small ball and then walk it off against Tanner Scott in the bottom of the 9th, and they win 5-4 over the Los Angeles Dodgers. With the win, Arizona stays alive. Arizona's still alive in the hunt. With the win, the Los Angeles Dodgers are now only a game and a half in front of San Diego. Oh, boys, the pressure on. And we know how much better the Dodgers play when there's pressure, right? Right? Right. Dodgers suck with pressure. They've been good with pressure in a decade. They suck with pressure. Let's see how much pressure they're going to be in for the next 5 days. Again, less likely than the Padres passing Chicago. Again, because the Dodgers have the tiebreaker. The last thing, I think this is important. The last thing that you wanted to happen if you're a San Diego Padres fan. Okay, and this is getting greedy. All right, now we're getting greedy, but this is the last thing that really helped out the Padres last night. Okay, you look at the overall standings, and Milwaukee has the 1 seed. I like Milwaukee having the 1 seed. I think the Padres match up well with Milwaukee. I'm not afraid of Milwaukee. I haven't been afraid of Milwaukee. I like the way that matches up. The one thing you can't have by beating up on the Brewers is having the Phillies pass Milwaukee. Because you know what I don't want to see? I don't want to see the Padres go to Philadelphia for game 1 of the NLDS. I really don't. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the long flight. I don't want to deal with the Phillies. I don't want to deal with Phillies fans. I don't want to see it. So don't open the window for Philadelphia. So the last thing, kind of icing on the cake for last night's day for the Padres, which was great, was guess who choked it away against Miami? Philadelphia. Phillies were down. Actually, I take that back. Phillies were up in this game in Philadelphia against Miami. Now, don't get Miami hot now. Okay? Don't get Miami hot now because they got to play the Mets. Okay? They got to play the Mets. But game started off with a home run in the first inning. Guess who? Kyle Schwarber, 54th bomb of the year. Then Otto Kemp homered in the second for Philadelphia. They took a 3-0 lead on Miami. Miami answered with a solo shot in the top of the 8th, made it 3-1. Liam Hicks drove in a run, scored Otto Lopez, made it 3-2. Top of the 9th inning, Phillies have a 3-2 lead over the Miami Marlins. Heriberto Hernandez. I don't even know who that guy is. I just learned him. I just learned his name right now. He hit his 10th home run of the year. Solo shot. Ties it up at 3. Go to the 10th inning. Liam Hicks gets a single. Makes it 4-3 Miami. Jacob Marcy. Hey, thank you, Jacob Marcy. Thanks for helping the ball club out. Grounds into a force out, scores another run. It's 5-3 Miami. Phillies tie it in the bottom of the 10th inning. Top of the 11th, Xavier Edwards, former Padre. Hey, thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate it. He hits a sac fly. Gives the Marlins a 6-5 lead. They shut it down in the bottom of the 11th, and guess what? Philadelphia drops another game. That's good news because now Milwaukee has the number 1 seed still, and they have a 2.5 game lead on Philadelphia with 4 to go. 5 to go for Philadelphia. Everything you needed to happen last night happened. That's just one day. You're going to need a couple more of those days in order to get relatively the seeding that you would like. The division is still alive. It's still alive. not really holding out hope for it. The Cubs and hosting, I'm telling you right now, hosting a wild card series against the Cubs is very much in play. How in play is it? We'll explain what needs to happen this week for the Padres to host next week when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, off and rolling on a Wednesday on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays at the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. We have just gotten started. Talking a lot of Padres baseball today. Talking Major League Baseball today in particular. I do want to mention, the morning show was talking about dancing. Was that like at weddings and stuff like that? We heard it because we were out in the hallway and they had the door open. I agree with Woods on most of those dancing takes. I'm an awful dancer. I have rhythm, but I can't dance. I'm just, unfortunately, my mom, who's a great dancer, passed along the great dancing to my brother and my sister. And I can't dance. I can sing. I can't dance. Dancing is not my thing. Absolutely against it. Can't do it. You talked about the wedding thing. By the way, maybe we'll talk more about this on Thursday, tomorrow. If you got to go to a wedding this weekend, God bless you, because this is like the best weekend for sports. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Have you seen the college football slate for Saturday?
It's insane.
It's crazy. It is crazy. Crazy. And some poor dudes are going to have to be at a wedding. Fall Saturday weddings are just the worst. They are the worst. Worst. Friday night, we got a fallen soldier, Frank, this weekend.
Better be getting some decent compensation.
We have a fallen soldier of our YouTube chat.
Oh no.
This weekend. Nikki P. Nikki P. He's the best man in this wedding. So he's got to be there.
Yeah, you can't call out sick on that one.
No.
Bro.
So he's got Friday night, he's got the rehearsal dinner, which means no TCU Arizona State, which means no Cathedral Granite Hills. No, and we got good high school games too. So he's hosed on the rehearsal dinner. He's got the game on Saturday. He's got like the wedding at like 2:00 on Saturday. He's a big Oregon Ducks fan. That's a tough play right there. Derek and La Mesa was giving you crap for going to soccer. Nikki P is missing the whiteout game. Oregon and Penn State because he's got to be standing up there. God bless him.
Here, hold on. Stand up for a second. Moment of silence. Moment of silence here. Hold on.
Can't let that bit go on too long. That's for you, Nikki P. You know what? That's for Nick Monte in the chat, too. He's got a wedding all day Saturday. Jake Waters. I got married on a Saturday in the fall. Number 7 Michigan at number 20 Notre Dame, but the wedding started after the game. We had it on before the wedding. You know what? Helping out the fallen soldiers right there. Helping out the fallen soldiers right there. I like it. That was for you, Nikki P. And for all of you that have to go to a wedding on Saturday. And you know what? There's more to come. There's more big days on the deal. Falling on the sword is big.
Watch us get a copyright strike for that.
We might. Okay.
It was worth it. Though.
I will say this. Rod was killing me in the chat. He's like, I'm standing with you guys right now. I hope everybody took the moment of silence for our fallen soldier, Nikki P., who's got to go to a wedding on a college football Saturday that's as big as this Saturday. And when he roots for too many teams already, but they're all justified. But Oregon, he's an Oregon fan against Penn State. He also likes USC. They're ranked. They're playing, who are they playing again? They're playing somebody ranked, I think.
Who?
SC?
Hold on.
Poor guy, Nikki P. If you want to tag, it's Nick in the chat is our guy.
I think Illinois.
That's a ranked matchup, too.
Yeah, 21 versus 23. At Illinois.
Somebody pulled over and stood at attention. You know what? Great.
9 in the morning.
Gracie stopped in the aisle at the grocery store. This is all for you, Nikki P. All right, moving on. On the bright side. Padres fired up. I can't believe we just did that bit. That's pretty I like that. That was great. All right. We wanted to know, right? What do the Padres have to do to now to pass the Cubs? Everything worked out in their favor last night. Everything worked out in their favor. The Padres, and this was laid out in Kevin Acey's newsletter. Okay, there's a couple of things. So he laid it out for both catching the Dodgers and catching the Cubs. Catching the Cubs means a lot easier to happen. Okay. Padres trail the Dodgers and the Cubs by 1.5 games, though they hold the tiebreaker over Chicago, interdivision record, and they lose the tiebreaker with the Dodgers, head-to-head record. The Cubs have lost 5 straight, during which the time the Padres have now gained 3.5 games on them. Here's what has to happen for the Padres to pass the Cubs. If the Cubs, in their next 5 games, go 5-0 or 4-1, it's over. They're not going to catch them. Okay? And again, they got 2 more games against the Mets and 3 against the Cardinals. If the Cubs go 3-2, the Padres have to go 4-0. So, if the Cubs lose the next 2 to New York, or if they split with New York and take 2 out of 3 from St. Louis, the Padres will have to sweep Arizona. They have to win today and sweep Arizona over the weekend in order to do that. If the Cubs go 2-3, so they split with the Mets here in the next 2 days, and they lose 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals, the Padres have to go 3-1. So that gives them an opportunity there to not have to sweep Arizona over the weekend. Maybe you just take 2 out of 3. Arizona's still battling for a playoff spot. Possibility if they win today, or maybe you lose today and then you sweep Arizona. It's still not bad. If the Cubs go 1-4, the Padres got to go 2-2. If the Cubs go 0-5, the Padres just have to go 1-3. That's what they have to do in order to pass Chicago and host next Tuesday. There's still some of you in the chat, and there's still some of our fans that want to know what it takes to win the division. And when we come back, we will tell you what it takes to win the division, what the Dodgers have to do over the next 5 games, what the Padres have to do. Plus, we got a lineup out for tonight's game, this afternoon's game. We will get to that as well when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Summer Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. Oh man, one of my group texts is Nikki P. Somebody threw in there. I'm sorry, Nikki. I've honestly never seen a more solid group of games outside of conference championship weekend than this weekend. Tough weekend to have a wedding. We even got into baseball is also crazy this weekend. Thank you, scheduling overlords, for the weekend slate of high school, college, NFL football, and Major League Baseball schedule. We haven't even talked about the American League yet. I mean, the American League is crazy. But I tease going to break. For all the Padres fans that still want to win the division, still think they can win the division, yada, 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 yada. Here's the thing. Okay, so, Frank, in terms of likelihood, it makes more sense that the Padres can catch the Cubs, right? Because they have the tiebreaker. But right now, who's playing worse baseball? I know the Cubs have lost 5 straight, but the Dodgers for the last 3 months have been more likely to lose. And by the way, who the Dodgers play this weekend, right?
Hold on. Have they been more likely to lose because of their play, or have they been more likely to lose because the expectation was for them to win 110 games this year?
Excuse me?
No, the Dodgers are not playing great. But
No,
are they
they're
playing? Are they abysmal because of what we expected them to be, and they haven't lived up to that all year, or are they just a bad
Or are they
team right now?
actually playing bad?
Yes.
Their bullpen's been rough, dude.
No,
With
it has been.
Trinan and
They've had a lot of problems.
Scott and Yates. I mean, their bullpen has always been. Their starting pitching hasn't been bad. Their starting pitching is probably up there with some of the best. And their offense has been okay. That's the other thing. Their offense has been okay. But their bullpen is really the problem. And the other thing, too, is their injuries. Like, didn't they just lose Will Smith for a decent amount of time?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think, like, if I had to pick between the Dodgers and the Cubs, which one is more likely to go 1-4 in the next 5? Who would you pick?
I'd say the Dodgers.
Right. I'd say the Dodgers, too, because they have 2 more against Arizona, who's got their backs against the wall. And they still think they're in it, which they are. You're game back. I don't care how many games are left. You're alive. And then they got Seattle over the weekend. Seattle hasn't won the division yet, have they? They've just clinched. They've just clinched the playoff spot.
I think. Well, they do. Okay, so Seattle and the Yankees both clinched yesterday.
They clinched wild card spots, though.
Yeah, they clinched a playoff spot.
Right,
yesterday.
correct. They have clinched playoff spots. If you look at overall the division, I mean, well, never mind. I mean, Seattle will have nothing to play for this weekend, except for just not trying to punt the last weekend of the year. Because Seattle catch New York? They can. They could get a bye. Seattle's a game back from the Yankees.
The Yankees aren't winning the division, though. Toronto's winning
that's
the
right.
division. Toronto,
that's right. So they're not.
The Yankees and Blue Jays are separated by a game.
Never mind. Seattle's already got the 2 seed, so they lead Cleveland by 3 games. So Seattle will have nothing to play for this weekend.
How about that too? By the way, 15.5 game lead going into the All-Star break.
We're gonna get to that in a second. But yes, we're gonna get to that in a second. So the Mariners this weekend, aside from like if they stumble somewhere here, they have a 4-game lead on Houston, and they have 5 games to go. Like they're not gonna not win the division. So by the time they play LA, they're not.
Oh God, the Mariners are playing the Rockies right now.
Yeah, they're gonna win the division right now. Today, they will win the division today, because it's either the Mariners are going to win or the Astros might lose.
Astros are playing
Clemente,
yes.
who's given them some fits. I mean, the Astros have lost 4 straight. So, I don't know if they're going to be playing for anything. So, to me, I honestly, like the Cubs, you think the Cardinals would like nothing better than to ruin the Cubs?
Oh, God, yes.
100%.
Yeah, that's what
The Mariners don't care about the Dodgers enough. They're going to be focused on themselves. Cardinals, they have nothing to lose. It might be more likely that the Cubs now do it. I just the difficulty, the level of difficulty for, the Dodgers because they play the Mariners was the only thing that made that slightly different.
I said it a couple weeks ago when we were talking about this. It doesn't matter how out of it they are. If the Cubs have a chance to play spoiler for the Cardinals, they're going to play their hearts out.
You said that a month ago. Yeah.
And same thing for the Cardinals. If the Cardinals have a chance to play spoiler for the Cubs, doesn't matter how far back they are going to play spoiler. They will play their hearts out to play spoiler.
The Cardinals are technically not out of it yet. They haven't been eliminated.
No, they're
not officially yet. They're 3.5 behind New York. A couple more New York wins though, and they are going to be eliminated. And you know what? It would be revenge, right? It would be revenge for the Cubs losing to the Mets and knocking out the Cardinals. There you go. Now we're trying to piece it together here. All right. In order for the Padres to win the division, we talked about what they need to do in order to host a wild card series against Chicago. The Padres, if the Cubs go 3-2, the Padres have to go 4-0. If the Cubs go 2-3, the Padres have to go 3-1. That's basically what it is in the next 4 days. So you're hoping the Mets win and you're hoping the Cardinals win for the next, 5 games. If you want to catch the Dodgers, in the next 5 games, LA has 2 more against Arizona and 3 against Seattle. If they go 3-2, if they go 3-2 or better in the next 5, you can't pass them. If the Dodgers go 2-3, okay, they go 2-3. So they lose they lose one against Arizona, and then they go 1-2 against the Mariners. The Padres have to go 4-0 in their next 4 games. The most likely situation for the Padres, at least, to me, is they go 3-1 in the next 4. I think it's fair. It's still asking a lot, but it's still fair. And the Dodgers have to go 1-4. That would be the only time that you would be able to pass LA for the division. So I still think the Cubs situation. I still think passing the Cubs is way more likely. I think everybody agrees that. You have to lay it out sometimes to make it make sense because, well, how is this when they're both a game and a half back? Well, you're really 2 games back from LA because you have to physically pass them. You can't be tied. And with Chicago, you can be tied because if you're tied, you win. Let's talk about the American League for a second. You mentioned this. This was crazy. Actually, you know what? No, I want to talk about I want to get the Mets Cubs perspective first. That game was fun last night. I'm sure it was stressful for you for the first couple times, but what was the Mets? What's the Mets breakdown? And here's the deal. We care about the Mets right now because we need them to win the next 2 days. Padres already got the 5 seed. Mets can't pass the Padres. So now you can be all in on rooting for the Mets, Padres fans. What's the status right now? How are you feeling, Frank? Are we feeling better than we did yesterday going into the game? How do you feel about the Mets playing right now?
I appreciate the fight back. 2 big home runs. The Mets, especially over the last decade or so, have had a lot of success in Chicago when it comes to big games. You got all the playoff games in 2015 and going back to last night, you had a lot of power. Lindor with a leadoff homer, Brandon Nimmo with a big 3-run shot. That one gave them that one tied the game at 6. And then Francisco Alvarez in the 8th inning with the 2-run shot that ended up giving the Mets the lead to stay. These games are fun to watch if you have no rooting interest. If you're just watching baseball, these are fantastic. That was a fantastic game to watch last night. I, as a Met fan, no, I will not be happy and I will not be calm until about 5 o'clock on Sunday when we know what is going on.
Until you got that little X next to your name?
Yep. Until I know we're going to LA, until I know we're going to Cancun, I will not be happy until about 5 o'clock on Sunday.
I agree with the morning show when you're looking at Major League Baseball right now and you're looking at the standings. Isn't it way more fun, Padres fans, to look at the standings and all this stuff when you got a little X next to your name? You don't have to worry about not making the playoffs. It's like, oh, look at the seating. Look at the chaos. This is great. You're like the little girl on the swing when everything else behind her is on fire. Oh, this is great. Isn't this fun? Frank, isn't this fun? This is fun, Frank.
Yeah, it's
such
great.
a blast.
I love it.
The Padres fan just walking around. It's like, hey, to his Mets fan. Isn't this so much fun? Baseball's so much fun. It's so much fun.
It is. It's a lot.
Mets fan just wants to.
It's a lot of fun.
What's that clip where it's like the dude? It's like Nick Cage is in a trance. He's so pissed off, driving in the convertible, and it's just the guy's just all happy.
Oh yeah.
That's a Padres fan rolling with the teams that are still battling for a playoff spot right now. Isn't this fun? This is great. This is great. Is this great, Cincinnati? Is this fun?
Cincinnati's got Paul Skeens tonight.
And they lost last night.
They did.
Pirates got them. They're a game back. Arizona's a game back. Somehow the Cardinals, Marlins, and the Giants got eliminated last night, right? They're done.
What did they do last night?
Did they lose? They lost. They lost the other one. They have to be done. ESPN doesn't have an E next to their name yet, but
neither does MLB.
4.5.
Oh, yeah,
MLB doesn't do the
8.
MLB doesn't do the E's. That's why I like the ESPN standings better sometimes.
Let's bring up an incognito window for CBS Sports because God forbid you let me use your website if I have an ad blocker on.
That sounds like a personal vendetta. Kansas City got eliminated last night, so they're out. So the 3 teams that are alive in the American League, there's 3 teams in the American League battling for 2 spots.
All right, so
not name the Guardians.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Tampa, Baltimore eliminated in the East, Kansas City, Minnesota, Chicago in the Central, and Texas, Oakland, Oaklamento, and LA,
Don't call them LA. They're just the Angels.
Anaheim.
Don't call them that either. The organization gets upset.
I
Fan
don't.
base. Orange County. Orange County's out.
Are we the station for the Angels?
No, I'm trying to defend Angels fans.
Okay.
Have you noticed that the Angels just call themselves the Angels?
Anaheim.
Anaheim. Yeah, support the fans.
Atlanta, Washington, and the NL East are out.
Pittsburgh's out.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's out, and San Francisco got eliminated last night, and Colorado.
And Colorado's out. Colorado's been out since they started the season. Dinger's been out for a while now. Dinger's already ready for spring training. He's been out for so long.
We need Dinger to come out to San Diego for a road trip so we can get an interview with Dinger.
With the mascot that doesn't talk?
Yes. You know how great radio that would be?
That'd be great. That's like, we should play charades with Dinger.
We need
charades with Dinger on air.
anyone,
be great.
Anyone with Colorado, if you are listening to this, which I don't know why you would be, please
Because we're a better team than there.
Please bring Dinger on a road trip to San Diego so we can have fun with Dinger. Please.
I love Dinger. Your show needs a mascot. That's a fact, Jocelyn. That is a fact. All right. In the American League, we wanted to get to this. We talked the Guardians. What did you... They erased a 15.5 game deficit.
In 2.5 months. Pretty much since the All-Star break.
15.5 games. Detroit was like looking at getting the 1 seed in Major League Baseball. What? All right. I can even go back to the day. So what did we say?
It was about 2.5 months ago.
So like in July, like the All-Star break?
Yeah, right around there.
When was the All-Star break? The 10th?
Brother.
Or the 17th? The 14th? Let's go 17th.
Let's
on
go
July
Let's go
17th.
baseball reference here.
On July 17th, the Tigers had an 11.5 game lead on the Twins at the All-Star break.
I'm typing in baseball reference in baseball references search tab. That's good on me.
Detroit had an 11.5 game lead on the Twins on July 17th, Thursday, July 17th, before they started the second half of the season. They had a 12-game lead on Cleveland. Then you fast forward to July. Let's go to August 1st, because August 1st was the day after the trade deadline. The Tigers then had a 8-game lead on Cleveland. 8-game lead on Cleveland after the trade deadline. So Cleveland made up 4 games during that span.
That 15.5, I will say, looking at their stuff on,
when was it? Like early July?
it's misleading because it's 15.5 on Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
They had
Not in the division.
Their best was a 14-game lead on July 8th in the division. That was their best in the division. It was 15.5 on Cleveland.
So on August 1st, the Tigers had an 8-game lead on Cleveland. That's the day after the trade deadline. Next week, on the 8th, it dropped down to 6. They had a 6-game lead after a week. You go down to the 15th, another week, went back up to 7.5, so they gained a couple of games back. On August 22nd, they jumped up to an 11.5 game lead. So Cleveland pulled it in 6 games, got passed by Kansas City, and in a 2-week span, Detroit got back up to an 11.5 game lead on Cleveland. On August 29th, Detroit had a 10.5 game lead on Cleveland. Then you get to September. September 5th, I'm just doing Fridays. The lead on Cleveland was 10 games. September 12th.
That was the 3rd. September 3rd, they were up 10.
The 5th they were too.
It was 8.5 on the 5th. I'm looking at it on baseball reference.
They had 8.5 on Kansas City. They had a 10-game lead on Cleveland.
Okay. Gotcha.
But Kansas City passed Cleveland again. Everybody's like, oh, Ryan Berger. Stephen Kolek. 10-game lead on Cleveland on the 5th. Friday, September 12th, it's a 7.5 game lead on Cleveland. 7.5 game lead on Cleveland on September 12th. Padres were 2.5 back from the Dodgers, and we were trying to figure out if they could make up the 2.5 games. Cleveland was 7.5 back from Detroit on September 12th. September 19th, Cleveland's now 2.5 games back. In 1 week, from September 12th, 7.5 back, to September 19th, they gained 5 games on the Tigers. They won 8 straight, and the Tigers lost 4 straight.
It's the Mets Phillies in 2007.
You know what it is? It's Tigers Guardians 2024.
Yeah.
Except it's flipped. Cleveland pulled within 2.5 games. Going into the day, they are now in first place. And with the win yesterday over Detroit, they have the tiebreaker. So Cleveland, if they split the next 2 days against Detroit, which, by the way, they beat Scooble last night. If they split today and tomorrow, Cleveland would be in control of their own destiny going to Texas. Detroit's got to go to Boston. Detroit's got to go to Boston and try to hold off the Astros. They have a game lead on Houston. So the Red Sox, we talked about this yesterday. Red Sox have a game lead on Detroit, and Detroit's got a 1-game lead on Houston. Boston this week. Oh, I had the schedules for a second. Come on. Boston this week is playing. I know they got Detroit over the weekend. Boston this week is playing Toronto. Toronto would like nothing more than just get rid of the Red Sox. Has Toronto clinched the division yet? No, they haven't.
No, they've only got a game on the Yankees.
So they're trying to finish this thing off against the Red Sox. So the Red Sox in these 5 games left, because everybody else is playing 5 games. Padres only have 4 because they played on Monday and nobody else in the American League played on Monday. Red Sox have Toronto for 2, Detroit for 3. Detroit has Cleveland for 2, Red Sox for 3. Houston has Oaklamento for 2, the Halos for 3. Cleveland has Detroit for 2 and Texas for 3. Out of those 5 teams, 3 of them are going to make the playoffs and 2 of them are going home. Who are you picking there?
Honestly, I think it's going to be the teams that are already in, which would be Boston and Detroit.
Houston's got the Angels this weekend, and Detroit plays Boston. Detroit and Boston's basically already a playoff series.
Yeah.
You get the playoffs this weekend already. You get the playoffs like the next 2 days with Cleveland and Detroit. That's going to be fun. American League is fun. Isn't this fun? Padres fan in the driver's seat. This is great. Boston, Detroit, Houston, and Cleveland.
Speaking of
the Nicolas Cage meme.
Speaking of the Padres, we have a lineup for the Padres today.
Let's get to that in the next. We can get to that in the next hour, because we're about to go to break here. This is crazy. It's the comeback that Cleveland has had in Detroit.
Unbelievable.
It happens in baseball. Why are you surprised? Says Captain. Look at the Mets.
Yeah.
God.
After I said it, look at the Mets. So I know you're not. You can't hurt me with that. I know.
Can't hurt him.
It's part of the reason why I am the way I am.
833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. It's the Braden Surprenant Show. Live and local each and every day from 10 to 2. When we come back, get to the Padres and Brewers lineups. Getting ready for Padres baseball. Pre-game show coming up after us at 12:10. More to come. Baseball coverage on 97 to the Fan is presented by T-Mobile at T-Mobile.com. Get a great deal on an iPhone 16 Pro. The taps of the fallen soldier. I can't stop laughing. Nikki P has now heard the bit, so he liked it. He sent the guy saluting it like the meme of him saluting, all fired up and like. Oh my God! Everyone's talking about the rapture yesterday. What you mentioned that? What are we talking about?
Apparently, it was going around that the rapture was supposed to happen yesterday.
Oh well, everybody still here, so
that you know of. That just means you must really associate with some less than sultry people.
I guess, or maybe we had an out-of-body experience. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't see that on social media.
Yeah,
well, I got left behind. So
that was going around.
Okay, well, that's a thing, I guess. Anyway, we got the lineup, correct?
We does have the lineup.
We does have the lineup. English are hard. Midweek matchup. All right. You want to do it, or do you want me to do it? If you say it's your show, dude, I'm gonna.
It
punch
is.
you in the
It
face.
kind of is.
Okay. All right. I'll do the lineup. You want to do the Brewers one then?
I'll do the Brewers.
I like
lineup.
having you do the Brewers one because then you have to pronounce names that you don't know how to pronounce.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Jerk.
It's your. You know what? If you want to get better at it, you got to practice, Frank.
Yeah.
How about that? I'm trying to make you better.
All right. So the Brewers lineup is Christian. I'm not pronouncing that. Jackson. I'm not pronouncing that.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding.
Stop it.
Christian. It's going to be Yelich DHing today. Churio in center. Terang at first. Vaughn at Durant.
All right, we're gonna start over. So let's start from the top. Start from the top.
Okay.
Here's the Milwaukee Brewers lineup today against the San Diego Padres.
Leading off at DH, it'll be Christian Yelich.
Okay.
Batting second, playing center field, Jackson Churio. Batting third at second base, Bryce Terang. Batting fourth, playing first, Andrew Vaughn. Batting fifth, playing right field, Sal Frelick. Batting sixth at third base, Caleb Durbin. Batting seventh in left, Jake Bowers. Batting eighth at short, Andrew Monasterio. Batting ninth and catching, Danny Jansen. With the pitcher, who was supposed to be Quinn Priester, no longer pitching, it instead will go to Chad Patrick, who, by the way, for those of you who do not know, has a 3-8 record with a 3.66 ERA this season.
They made the move to rest some guys up. Honestly, if you're Milwaukee, I think, what are they, like a game away from clinching, right? They have a clinching scenario today.
If they win today and the Phillies lose, they will clinch the number 1 seed.
That is correct. Brewers beat the Padres and the Phillies lose to the Marlins. They clinch the number 1 seed. I think with that kind of that's probably going to be the case again tomorrow and for the next couple of days. So from that perspective, Milwaukee can give some guys some rest. They probably also want to get guys set up for their divisional series that they're going to be a part of here in the next, couple of weeks or so. That is the Brewers lineup. As for the Padres, no Fernando again. Luis Arraez batting leadoff, plays first base. Manny Machado bats second, plays third. Jackson Merrill in the 3 spot, plays center field. Gavin Sheets bats cleanup, he plays left field. Xander Bogaerts will bat 5th and play shortstop. Brian O'Hearn is the DH, he bats 6th. Ramon Laureano bats 7th, plays right field. Jake Cronenworth bats 8th, plays 2nd. Freddie Fermin will catch and bat 9th, catching for Dylan Cease. The morning show mentioned this. Paul said it. I totally agree. They're like, oh, this is an important start for Dylan Cease to try to get in the playoff rotation. And Paul said, I feel like we've said that for every start he's had since June.
Yeah, pretty much.
It has. Every start since June has been like, this is the start. Dylan Cease, it's an important start. It's got to turn things around. I mean, he just is what he is this year. We kept waiting for him to turn into something else. I can't imagine it's going to happen in the playoffs. And Kevin Acee mentioned a little bit in his daily newsletter 2 days ago that Dylan Cease could potentially come out of the bullpen. Sounds like in his daily newsletter today, if I'm not mistaken, Pivetta is likely game 1. Cease, Darvish, and King are in play for game 2. Vasquez could be a bullpen weapon or possibly a starter in a 7-game series. But it sounded like they were leaning towards Michael King starting game 3. You go Darvish game 2? I would rather take my chances with Darvish as a starter than I would with Dylan Cease as a starter right now in the
100%.
series.
100%.
Even though I think Darvish has the mental makeup to come out of the bullpen, I don't know if Dylan is. But, I mean, you look at just what he has done this year. I mean, look at his game logs. We haven't done this in a long time, so I don't know if he's made any drastic improvements, but, you know, it just hasn't been great. If you look at what he has done since August, so he has made 5 starts in August, he's made 4 starts in September. It's going to be his 5th start in September. Since August, the beginning of August, so after the trade deadline, his first start after the trade deadline, the Padres in games that he has started are 6-3. So that's good. Padres are 6-3. He's 5-2, also good. But in 44 2/3 innings, he has a 4.23 ERA and a 3.50 fielding independent pitching. He's given up 4 home runs, 54 strikeouts, 22 walks. He has given up 4 runs in 3 of his last 9 starts. How are we feeling about Dylan Cease today, Frank?
Against a Brewers team that's just kind of
around.
Eh. I mean, if he doesn't have a good performance today against a team that's more or less not trying, I don't know what do you say to that?
I don't know. How about this? Since his start against LA, remember the start he had against LA back on June 10th, where it was like the turnaround start?
Yes.
It seemed like. Okay. His ERA this year is 4.64 on the season. 8-12 with a 4.64 ERA. Since that start against the Dodgers, and including it, right? The turnaround start. We thought everything could turn around. He's got a 4.58 ERA. This is who he is.
Screams guy in contract year, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Somebody's going to give him $30 million. That team would not be intelligent, in my opinion. Somebody's going to give him $30 million. I mean, they're giving... How much money do the Mets give Sean Manaea? Like $20 million? 25?
I don't know. Hold on.
Wasn't your week to watch the Mets? Ha! That's a lie. It's always your week to watch the Mets.
I don't know his contract off rip. That's my bad.
You're bad, dog.
Shamanaya, it's bloody Nora. 22 million is his luxury tax hit. He's getting 20 million this year, 19.5 and then 19.2.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
What's
3 years, 75 was the deal.
He's 2-4, the 5.59 ERA.
He's missed a lot. He's missed a lot. He's
only
of
played
this
11
year.
games, but still. He signed that contract 2 years ago, though.
No, he signed it last year. He signed it this offseason.
Oh, he got the extension. He played for him last year.
Yes.
And had where's his ERA? He had a 3.47 ERA. I'm telling you, he's going to get, like, Dylan Cease going to get close to $30 million. You're going to be like, why? I mean, some of the pitchers in this game are getting paid so much money to just be, like, average at their job at the highest level.
Sean Manaea is the highest paid pitcher on the New York Mets right now.
Gee.
Frankie Montas, who's done for this year and most likely next year, is making $17 million, so less. Taylor McGill, who got Tommy John surgery yesterday, is in arbitration.
Who would you say, like, maybe we'd have to pull up Fangraphs for this.
How much is
what, like,
they don't have Kodai Senga's contract on here because he's not on the roster right now. He's in the minors.
You really go pull up Fangraphs and take a look. I want to ask. Here's the question I ask: who would you consider being the average, like the most average major league starting pitcher?
Kodai Senga is making 15. Yeah, he's making more than the ace. Great. Love it.
No, and you're made of money over there in New York, so.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, if you. God, this screen is just driving me nuts. It just flashes.
JR.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I want to know, like, to me, who would be an average starting pitcher, and just see like how much money they're getting right now. You know,
I mean, I would consider
is Sean Manaea an average pitcher in Major League Baseball?
I would consider a guy like maybe Lucas Giolito is like an average starter.
Let's
playing for Boston right now.
Okay, let's look at how many pitchers there are. I just want I'm going to look at Fangraphs right now, and they're going to pull up every pitcher on Fangraphs, and I only want starters. So there are on Fangraphs, at least with whatever. There are 233 starting pitchers on Fangraphs.
Lucas Giolito's making $19 million.
Stop it.
He is.
Stop it. Okay, so we're about like
he's making $19 million this year and next year.
Right dab in the middle in terms of, was it WAR or something? Right dab in the middle for starting pitchers in terms of like WAR. Is about value.
Mm-hmm.
At 117, which is the middle, roughly, is Andrew Heaney.
Andrew Heaney, who's playing for the Braves right now?
I don't even know who Andrew Heaney's playing for right now. Andrew Heaney. It says he's a AAA member of the Dodgers right now. But like based on like WAR, it was like halfway in the middle.
I know he moved around. He moved around at the deadline. He's making $5.5 million this year, but that was a 1-year deal.
Well, yeah, it's hard to evaluate, but like I just feel like average pitchers now, like average starting pitchers, make like $20 million when you on the open market. You know, they just like make $20 million. So with Dylan Cease, like I feel like somebody's gonna pay him like $30 million, and you're gonna be like, why? It's gonna just be crazy. It's not gonna make any sense. You're gonna be like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? I want to take a deeper look into that. We will when we come back. I just want to continue with some more Padres talking some Padres baseball. They will play Milwaukee here coming up at 1:10, 12:10 pregame show on San Diego's #1 sports station. 97.3 The Fan. Braden Surprenant show rolls on. Baseball Talk on 97 through the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. Sylvester Stallone is back in the original hit series, Tulsa King. This season, Dwight faces his most dangerous adversaries yet, forcing him to fight for everything he's built and to protect his empire. Stream the new season of Tulsa King on Sunday, September 21st, exclusively on Paramount Plus. All right, according to Fangraphs WAR, Joe Ryan is your average pitch, like the middle, right? Median. I'm going to say median, not like average, median pitcher. Or to calculate average, you got to like calculate all of the WAR and then put it together and then divide it by 51, because there's 51 pitchers that qualify on here. We're going to go median. Joe Ryan's still on his rookie deal. Dylan Cease is 4 spots in front of him at 21. Does it surprise you that Dylan Cease has the 21st best WAR of all starting pitchers in Major League Baseball?
Yes.
That's the upper half. He's in the top half. If you had to guess the top 5 pitchers in baseball right now, according to Fangraphs WAR, who would they be?
Top 5 pitchers in Major League Baseball based off of Fangraph WAR.
Top 5 starting pitchers based on Fangraph WAR. Again, it just gives you an idea of how good somebody is. Skeens is 2.
Scooble.
Scooble's 1, yeah. Black screen. Back. Continue. Black screen. Back. Continue.
Throwing me off here, man. Oh God, why can't I think of names?
You would be very good at the game.
No, I'm not. No, I would not be.
Maybe that's what we got to do. Maybe we got to play Midday Sports Standoff against Frank.
Yeah, it's like I said.
He's giving away.
It's
You get a
idiot.
Vegas trip. You get a Vegas trip. You get a Vegas trip. I'll give you a hint. 2 of them are in the National League. 1's in the American League. Okay.
This is pathetic.
1
on
plays
my
for
part.
Philly. 1 plays for Boston. 1
Zach
plays
Wheel-
for San Francisco.
Wheeler, Crochet.
Not Wheeler, but Crochet. Yes, he's the 4th best.
Would it be
pitcher.
Christopher Sanchez?
Christopher Sanchez is number 3.
And then probably Webb.
Logan Webb.
Yeah, there.
Correct.
I'm really good when you almost give me the answer.
This guy
When you
pitches for
basically-
Philadelphia,
when
and his
you-
first name is spelled J-E-S-U-S. Jesus? No, it's Jesus. Jesus Luzardo. He's number 6.
Speaking of Jesus, no, it's good.
Stop it. The Pope's still here, by the way, so maybe the rapture didn't work. Nick Pivetta is the highest ranked Padre. Can you tell me where he's at if you had to guess? Nick Pivetta. Great year. According to Fangraphs WAR.
13.
That's exactly where he's at.
Wow.
Maybe you just need to guess numbers. At least you know the numbers, at least 1 through a certain level.
Like I said in the chat before.
Names are hard, man.
Like I said before in the chat, if you guys care to scroll up in the chat, it's not that I don't know the answer. It's that I don't listen long enough to know what right answer to pick.
Second highest Padre that qualifies.
That qualifies would
Yeah,
probably
like 51 are on
It
here.
would probably be Cease.
It's Cease. He's 21st.
Yeah, he's the only one that has. He's the only other one that hasn't
Yeah,
been hurt.
King hasn't been able to play. King hasn't played at all this year. Burkert and Kolick no longer on the team. Vasquez has been up and down. What?
Play. Frank
right.
doesn't need crib notes. He needs the
Full answers, apparently. Who's the highest rated Met?
Probably Clay Holmes. He's the only one I can think of that hasn't had an injury this year.
Yep, he's 39th. So when looking at this is why I brought this up. I mean, you're looking at, like, he's a top half pitcher in Major League Baseball still, according to WAR. How much do you value WAR? A lot of people really value WAR. I mean, and then to the point where people like argue of like B WAR versus F WAR. I think it's
value the eye test.
Interesting guide. I think it's an interesting guide to just kind of compare everybody based on overall performance player, but I'm not huge on WAR. I mean, Dylan Cease is a top 20 pitcher in Major League Baseball as a starter, according to WAR.
Then that just means baseball starting pitchers are god awful.
Hassan Kim is a high WAR guy. Like last year, I think he was like the second highest rated WAR player on the Padres. What's Hassan Kim up to right now? Getting cut from Tampa and now playing in Atlanta.
And hitting quite well, actually.
Finally.
Last I've seen.
The Braves have won 9 straight.
Well, he was hurt to start the year. He
Mhm.
didn't play until about July.
A lot of his stuff is with the
So it's not like
defense, though.
Yeah, it's not like he was given a long time to let it ride in Tampa Bay. They cut bait quickly with him.
Expected ERA.
Go for it.
Expected ERA. You have a Padre in the top 12.
Probably Cease.
It's Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease's ERA is a 4.64. His expected ERA is a 3.48. Does that give you enough confidence to give him a playoff start? Is he actually better than we think? I don't think so either. We haven't seen it all year. His expected ERA is top 12 in all of Major League Baseball at 3.48. Who's got the highest? Paul Skeens, 2.60. Yamamoto, 2.70. Tarek Skubal, 2.78. Out of the top 15 pitchers in expected ERA, Dylan Cease has the highest actual ERA. It's just like through the roof.
I said watch them play. Numbers only tell you so much.
Paul
and then you watch
Skeens-
them play and you're like, wow, this guy
Right.
maybe not the 21st best pitcher in baseball.
Paul Skeens' actual ERA, way less than is expected. Yamamoto's actual ERA, way less than expected. Skubal, ERA, way less than expected. Garrett Crochet, way less. Wu, less. Sanchez, way less. Hunter Brown, way less. Rodon, way less. Jacob deGrom, way less. Peralta, the only one, there's only 2 pitchers that have a higher ERA than they have their expected ERA in the top 12. It's Luzardo and Cease. And it's a massive drop-off. Like, Jesus Luzardo's ERA is a 4.08. His expected ERA is a 3.45. Dylan Cease has the biggest biggest difference in the top 15 pitchers in Major League Baseball compared to his ERA versus expected. Does that do anything for you? I mean, for some people, it might I think it tells you he's got good stuff.
Tune out is what it does.
He's got good stuff. Is he going to just turn it around? I mean, I can't imagine. His fielding independent pitching is at 3.01. His expected fielding independent pitching is higher. Take that for what it's worth.
Great. He's good when the ball gets put in play, which from what I'm hearing is far too often by that stat.
Wait a minute. That's not what his fielding independent pitching is. 3.64. Why did that change? Yeah, 3.64. He's 18th in fielding independent pitching.
Good for him. He's good when the ball gets hit back at him.
Probably has a super high K through 9. He does. Guess who's got the best K through 9 in Major League Baseball?
Mackenzie Gore.
No, he's 5th.
Tarek Skubal.
He's 3rd.
Skeens.
8th.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Best strikeout per 9 innings in all of Major League Baseball.
Oh, you know what? Is it just for starters?
Just starters.
Okay. Because usually relievers will get that. Crochet.
He's 2.
Sake.
Best starting pitcher in K through 9. I know you got it.
You don't need to
I'm
yell
just
at me.
re-emphasizing this because you're going to laugh at the answer.
Oh, what is it, like Cade Horton or something like that?
It's Dylan Cease.
Oh, for God's sake.
Dylan Cease has the best K per 9 out of any pitcher in Major League Baseball. It's crazy. I mean, his metrics. So I'm telling you, somebody's going to give him $30-something million. Someone's going to give him $30-something million a year. It's not going to be the Padres. You let this guy walk.
You math nerds love to ruin everything, don't you?
I bet you his walk per 9 is incredibly high.
By the way, did you see Tarek Skubal last night hit David Fry?
No. Oh, he had a lot of problems. Last night. He did
Fry,
his 6th inning, he did 3 things that he hadn't done all year.
This was in the 5th inning.
They were up a wild pitch and a hit by a bat.
They were up 2-1, and I think it was the 5th. Fry squares to bunt and just drills him with 99 heat right between the eyes. It was not good.
Oh, God.
I don't blame him for having a bad inning after that, because
That's
I
insane,
would be
99 to
shaken
the
up.
face.
I would be shaken up after that too. It was bad.
By the way, I'm not sitting here defending. I'm not, like what we do with Xander Bogaerts, I'm not doing it with Dylan Cease. I mean, he has not been good. But here's the other thing too. So his K through 9 is the best in baseball. Out of all the starting pitchers that qualify, which is 51 of them, his walk per 9, third worst in baseball. 3.81 walks per 9 innings. You wonder why Dylan Cease struggles. He's got great stuff with a bunch of punch outs.
When he can locate
Walks
it.
people. Walks a lot of people. He is the only Padre listed in the top 20-something. Nick Pavetta's at 29.
Blake Snell won a Cy Young walking over 100 guys, though.
Yeah, okay. Well, Blake Snell got out of problems. Dylan Cease does not get out of problems.
No, he does get out of problems. He walks right off the mound and
Hands it
gives
to
the
the
ball to
bullpen.
somebody else.
Yeah. K through 9, amazing. Walks per 9, not great, Dylan. Definitely not great. I think this is a good idea in the chat, which is pretty good. It's been pretty awesome. I like the idea that just got thrown in there. We're going to talk about that idea when we come back. And it involves the playoff rotation for the Padres. Because you could get some good stuff with Dylan Cease.
Pitchers from a hat?
No, we're not going to draw names out of a hat. I know you've been wanting to do that. What was suggested in the chat? We'll tell you when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. Final segment of the Braden Surprenant Show. Here on a Wednesday, getting ready for Padres baseball. Equal Water SoCal Padres pregame show with Sam Levitt will be underway at 12:10. And we'll get to that in just a little bit here, coming on 97 through the Fan. Padres and Brewers, final game of the 3-game series as Dylan Cease toes the rubber on the mound, on the hill for your San Diego Padres. Let's run through some of the metrics with Dylan Cease. High strikeout per 9, also very high walk per 9. Not great. You look at a lot of his metrics on Fangraphs and you'd be like, oh, it's not that, doesn't seem that bad. But then you watch him pitch, you're like, what is going on out there? It's interesting the conversations that have been happening now where we are less than a week out from the start of the playoffs. The San Diego Padres will be playing a playoff game a week from today. They'll be doing it from a week from yesterday as well. Those are guaranteed. You had at least 2 games guaranteed. But the interesting thing is about the starting pitching. And Randy Vasquez last night had a good outing. Randy Vasquez was great last night. Maybe the rest has really helped him out. Kevin Acee put in his daily newsletter, have we been overlooking Randy Vasquez? No, I've been saying Randy Vasquez has been great since last year. I thought we had a good chance with Randy Vasquez last year. I would continue to compare. Everybody wanted Matt Waldron all the time. Oh, the knuckleball. Randy Vasquez was good. It's the reason why they brought him over here. It's learning how to pitch at the major league level. And now, a first full year in the Major League Baseball, he's been great. Now, the Padres been overlooking Randy Vasquez? I don't think so. If so, they won't anymore. Vasquez last night held the Brewers to 1 hit, walked 2 batters over 7 scoreless innings. It was the first time in 25 starts this season and 51 career starts. That's such a small number, by the way. That he finished 7 innings and the first time he did so while not allowing a run. Frank, you finally got your wish, buddy. Randy Vasquez not getting taken on the 4th inning.
Yes, he actually that's what it looks like when he's allowed to throw more than 70 pitches. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who'd have thought he's a major league pitcher that he could do it? Wow. Good for them.
Vasquez's outing last night was the Padres' first quality start in 9 games. He has 3 of the Padres' 6 quality starts over their last 27 games. It seems he is no longer the traffic cop. I believe that. Kevin Acee puts out in his daily newsletter the numbers since being recalled on September 6th compared to his first 22 games this season. From September 6th to Tuesday, he's made 4 starts. He's gone 21 and a third inning with a 2.53 ERA. Opponents have hit .213 against Randy Vasquez with a .241 on base percentage, 7.17 hits per 9, 1.27 walks per 9. That's the best. 3 quality starts. From March 29th to August 15th, before he took a break down to the minor leagues, get some rest, made 21 starts, 22 appearances, 111 and a third innings pitched, a 3.96 ERA, 250 average, 335 on base, 8.49 hits per 9, and a 3.96 walk per 9. That is a drastic difference between his walk per 9 from March 29th to August 15th and September 6th to Tuesday, which is just a 1.27. I mean, it drops by more than 2 points. He had 6 quality starts during that first half of the season. Vasquez has apparently learned and accepted who he is, a guy who thrives when he pitches to soft contact, and he has more confidence in that guy than he did when he was nibbling around the strike zone last season and earlier this season. Quote from Ruben Niebla in the article, Randy believes in himself. His stuff has gotten better, and not only better, his stuff has been in the zone. Vasquez, who has been optioned twice this season, may have worked himself into a potential postseason start, according to Kevin Acee. Padres might have him available in the bullpen for the wild card series and possibly the division series with the idea he could start in a 7-game series if needed. I think that's 100% true. Quote from Mike Schilt in the article. It's a conversation for the group. I think he is in the conversation for sure. How it shakes out, time will tell. Decisions that the organization will weigh in on and make. By that, Schilt meant discussions among himself, president of baseball operations A.J. Preller, and pitching coach Ruben Niebla for input from others, including the analytics department. Here's how it shakes out. Schilt already said Nick Pivetta almost certainly will start game 1. You probably won't see him the rest of the season, the next 4 games. Indications from people inside the organization that the Padres will use tomorrow's off day to line up the rest of the rotation for the wild card series. If that is the case, it could mean Michael King is not starting Friday, which unless he has a truncated outing over the weekend, would rule him out for game 2, according to Kevin Acee. That would presumably leave the second game up for grabs between Dylan Cease, who starts today, and Yu Darvish, whose turn in the rotation comes up Saturday, though it is not known if that is when he will start next. Vasquez is currently in line to start again in Sunday's season finale. So knowing that information, Frank, how are we thinking this rotation is going to line up? Obviously, Pavetta's game 1. They'll have either Darvish or Cease game 2. Sounds like King is game 3. Do you let Vasquez start on Sunday and then use him in the bullpen during the wild card series? Or do you not have him start at all? I guess you could have him start and then he'd be in that series on pace to throw a pen anyway.
So if the
you might
plan
as well have him come out and throw a bullpen.
If the plan is to have King pitch Friday for a couple of innings just to get a little bit of extra work in, then have somebody start Saturday and then Vasquez on Sunday, I'd have him come out of the bullpen.
Vasquez.
Yeah, I would have Vasquez come out of the bullpen. And honestly, if you're going to have Vasquez go less than 4 innings, this weekend would be the time to do it. So this way you at least save something of him for possibly game 1 if you need it, or definitely game 2. He should be ready to go. That's what I would do.
I also agree. I do not want Michael King to have his next start be game 3 of the wild card.
No, I would.
He needs to have he needs to have some type of work, I think, on Friday.
Yeah, I would. That would be what I would do. I would have him pitch like 2, maybe 3 innings, keep a pitch count at like 40, 45 for Friday. So this way it's short rest, but it's not a full start day for him. You're not expecting him. You're not asking him to go 100 pitches, and you give him some rest before his next start, which would be in the wild card.
I think you go, well, they're going to go Pivetta game 1, King game 3, and you need somebody in the middle. Why not start with Cease and then go to Vasquez?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That would be on a Wednesday. You still start Vasquez on Sunday, or is that too many days off? If you don't start him on Sunday, is that too many days off before potentially having to piggyback on Wednesday?
Then if that's the case, then just throw Darvish on Saturday. If you're not committing,
you're not going to use Darvish.
Yeah, if you're not committing to who your starters are, or have Darvish go on Sunday. So this way you give Vasquez that extra day.
Or would you rather have Darvish go game 2?
I would trust.
I would
Darvish.
rather have Darvish in game 2.
I would trust Darvish
Cease.
more.
And maybe you do Darvish and Vasquez right behind.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Or here's the other thing you could do. You could also not pitch Vasquez over the weekend. And then he is the guy, as soon as you get into trouble, comes in immediately in game 1, 2, or 3.
That's why you would have him do like what you would have Michael King do on a Friday, which is an abbreviated start. Give him a low pitch count for him. Take him out in the 3rd inning. So this way you used him. He got work. He gave you a start. But it's not going to take him as long to get ready and ramp up for game 2 or 3.
Right, so he needs 5 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'd be eligible on Sunday. Vasquez, you don't want to have him go in a bullpen on short rest. Maybe he just, maybe use him as a bullpen piece on Sunday. Vasquez, give him a couple, just like he would be a bullpen guy anyway. And then he'd be off Monday. Don't use him Tuesday, and then with 2 days rest, and again, you're not having him go multiple innings. He could be ready to help out on Wednesday as a long relief guy.
Yeah, and this is where, seeing JP Sears one more time, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Because these are games that, while of course you want to win the division, of course you want to get into a home field situation for the wild card like you were in with Atlanta last year, you also, you're in. You're just playing for where you're going, who you're playing against. So it's not necessarily giving up, but it's just saying, okay, we're content with going to Chicago. Let's make sure we are putting our best foot forward when we go there. That is also a way you can look at this series against Arizona.
That's what I would do. I'd be ready for you want to win those playoff games. You don't want to, because if it doesn't work, let's say you go after it this weekend to try to host on Tuesday. Even if you do get to host, you're still putting yourself behind the 8 ball for the playoff series, which is more important.
Yeah.
Right? The only way that would make sense on the roll of the dice for a risk would be if going 4-0 the next 4 games gets you a bye. That would be the only way that it would be the risk. Yeah. The risk reward would pay off for you. But even if you win the division, which you're not going to do, maybe, even if you pass Chicago and you don't line up you still have to play Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe Thursday of next week.
Yeah.
What did Atlanta do last year? They had to play all of those games, and they had that extra doubleheader against the Mets to try to make the playoffs. And what were they in the wild card series? Gassed. They were gassed. They ran out of pitching, and they got throttled in 2 games here in San Diego. That was the easiest playoff series I've ever seen.
Juan Ruiz in the chat, I don't care how it happens, just play at home on Tuesday. But
then when you play at home on Tuesday and you don't have all hands on deck and not everybody's fresh, you drop game 1, now you're really in trouble.
I understand that is what you want. That is the goal that you want. Of course, you want to win the division. You want to give yourself a home field advantage for the wild card. But at least my mentality, I would rather have all of my guys at 100% concede this weekend and be 110% ready when you go into Chicago. Have all of your guys rested, have all of your guys ready, have all hands on deck ready to go at top strength. Just what I would do, I would 100% just concede the weekend. It's not going to look good.
Well, I mean, you're not conceding the week. You still have a really good team. It's not like you're not trying to win.
Right. But saying,
you're not putting your best pitching staff forward.
Don't put your best foot forward.
I mean, they conceded last night and won 7-0.
Yeah.
In reality.
Exactly.
I mean, everybody was upset with them that they put the lineup that they put out last night, even though Fernando's sick and not going to play anyway. But they gave Manny the day off, and they had Mason McCoy in the game. I mean, they had Bogart's DH, all that stuff. Yeah, Bogart's batting second last night. I mean, you look at the lineup last night, people were watching it going I can't believe this is we're trying to. They still won. I mean, they can still win. They can still beat Arizona with JP Sears pitching at Petco Park.
Yes.
They can still beat Arizona with Matt Waldron pitching or whoever else you want to bring up to make it happen. Like I
say, you can accidentally win a game. It absolutely happens. It happened last night. You accidentally won a game last night.
You could have the non-high leverage bullpen day with Yuki Matsui and Wandy Peralta and Marinaccio and guys like that. Go out there and pitch. They could go out there and do that. So I think the Pivetta game 1, King game 3 seems like it's going to happen. And to me, it's either Cease or Darvish for game 2. But that's going to be interesting to see what they do with Darvish this weekend to see if he pitches.
I wouldn't throw anyone this weekend that I would consider pitching. I mean, except for King. King has to pitch. He's got to get another start under his belt.
Or just like an inning or two. He could be an opener. I wouldn't mind him being an opener for 2 innings.
No,
Give him
exactly.
2 innings and get him out.
I'm not. Yeah, no. King doesn't get a full start. He just gets gets work in. He gets in-game work in. If this weekend is Sears and Waldron or Sears and whoever, fine. I'll eat that. I will 100% eat that.
Yeah, the Chihuahuas are done, right?
The minor leagues are done.
Yeah, everybody's done. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, who's on your... You have Kyle Hart start a game this weekend.
Yeah, you have Kyle Hart start a game this weekend.
Have Kyle Hart start a game this weekend.
Throw Bradley Rodriguez's arm off. Like
I don't know. Bradley looked pretty good the other day. He looks like he could be an asset in the bullpen in the playoffs.
After he loaded the bases.
It's all right.
He got a stellar diving save by Cronenworth, and then just
the guy throws a 100-mile-an-hour sinker and has a too good changeup. I mean, I'd still rather watch him pitch than Yuki Matsui.
I would need to see more out of Bradley Rodriguez in the majors before I'm comfortable saying, throw him in.
I'd rather watch. If you had to, you're going to have to pitch somebody like that. Would you rather see Kyle Hart or Bradley Rodriguez in
I would rather see Bradley Rodriguez.
Bradley, for sure. I mean, start going through like the list of guys that are going to be on this playoff team. Like, is Yuki Matsui going to be on the playoff team? Also, I'd still rather see Bradley Rodriguez pitch than Yuki Matsui. I know it's a righty-lefty situation.
But also, if you're going to throw Bradley Rodriguez's arm off, you're going to do it Friday. You're not going to do it on Sunday. Because if you're not throwing
Sundays for Kyle Hart.
Yeah, exactly. Sundays for the guys
Yuki Matsui.
Sundays
and
for the
Ron
guys
Marinaccio,
have no shot
JP
at pitching
Sears.
in the postseason.
JP Sears, who's on the 40-man roster that he could pull up? Nestor Cortez still in the IL. He's out for the year, isn't he?
I believe so, yes.
Alec Jacob. Start Brian Hoeing over the weekend. I don't care. David Morgan's on the IL. Who else? Sean Reynolds. This weekend's a great weekend for Sean Reynolds. Matt Waldron. Great weekend for Matt Waldron.
And don't freak out if you see these moves go. Will Wagner going to the Arizona Complex League. You can't send him to AAA. They're not playing.
I know. They got to go to Arizona. They bringing up Martin Maldonado for the playoffs? He's been working out. Carried 3 catchers.
No,
absolutely not. Well, you never know. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Here's the other thing, too. I'm not worried about the whole Padres record on the road. You want to know why? Because nobody has a good record on the road. Not a lot of teams have a good record on the road. Toronto Blue Jays get the 1 seed in the American League. They're under 500 on the road. They're around 500, but they're under 500. Seattle, under 500 on the road. The only one that's good on the road right now is Cleveland. Teams are not good on the road more times than not. They're especially not good on the road against teams that are good. You know who else wasn't very good on the road? In 2022, the Philadelphia Phillies. Guess who won all the series on the road?
Yep.
The Philadelphia Phillies. It's a different animal. I guess you could call up Campusano and have him pitch like Juan Ruiz said. Where's our Kike Hernandez?
Jake Cronenworth is going to look at that after begging to pitch for years. He's going to look at Campusano come in to pitch for an inning and go, really?
Really?
Really? I'm here begging to pitch.
Really?
You're going to bring up, really? Come on.
Wow, Joe Klatt ripped the AP poll? I'm going to have to hear that. I'm going to have to play. We're going to have to play that tomorrow. As we transition to college football on a Thursday. Skyler's going to come in and make some picks. Got a big slate to talk about tomorrow. It's going to be great. Might have to listen to the rant from Joel Klatt. Joel Klatt! 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Kike in Carmel Valley. Kike, what's going on, man?
Hey, I'm driving down to the game.
Nice.
So,
go enjoy yourself. Go have a nice Wednesday, Kike.
All right. Not to nitpick a little bit, but you guys are miscounting. normal rest for a pitcher, 5-man rotation is 4 off days. King pitched Sunday. Friday is his normal day, and then Wednesday, game 2 would be his normal day. And there's no reason to move him around. You may not, want him to go, 7 innings on Friday, but you can pitch, you can start and pitch 5 innings.
His next
and then
start.
He just slots right in. He just slots in for Wednesday. He pitches Friday on normal rest, and then Wednesday, game 2 on normal rest.
His next start would have been Sunday.
Right. He pitched Sunday. 4 days.
Yeah, his next scheduled start would have been Saturday.
No,
not
Friday.
Yesterday, because there's a day off in between.
Because Thursday's an off day. Right. You just flip flop him and Darvish. You pitch King on Friday, 4 days rest. He hits Wednesday, game 2 on 4 days rest. Darvish, same thing. He pitches Saturday. Not a huge outing, maybe 5 innings. And then he slots in on normal rest for game 3. You don't have to jumble it all up, and you get decent pitchers on Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I don't think you want to punt on home field advantage. You don't want to destroy your rotation, but you pitch King on normal rest. He slots in for game 2. You pitch Darvish on Saturday. He slots in for game 3. If Sunday means something, Vasquez is on normal rest. If you could win the division, of course you pitch Vasquez on Sunday. And then he's set up for long relief, and Cease is in there for long relief as well. Pitching today. He'll be ready to go any of the 3 days if the starter blows up.
Well,
that's my opinion.
We're just reporting exactly what the Padres have told Kevin Acee, and it said in this case, could mean Michael King is not starting Friday and would rule him out for game 2, is what they said. So, call the Padres. But, again, yes, he was expected to pitch on Saturday, but his days off, with the day off, he can pitch on Friday, but that would move him up, and then you'd switch your rotation. Correct, Frank?
Yeah.
Because he pitched Sunday against the White Sox.
Yes.
And as he mentioned, which is right, that would line him up to pitch on Friday, but with the off day, his next spot in the rotation wouldn't be until Saturday. So the idea is you can flip him to Friday and have him pitch. The other thing is the Padres were talking about having Michael King pitch game 3 and saving him for game 3. But again, I wouldn't over pitch Michael King because he's coming off of an injury. Or actually, really, time off. He's been coming off of time off. And so you don't want him to go 7 or 8 innings when you can rest the guy, just like every other team is currently doing. But you need him to pitch because you need him to get another outing in there, is what we've been saying. So again, Schilt already says, this is from Kevin Acee's report, Schilt already said Nick Pivetta will most certainly start game 1 of the wild card series. Indications from the people inside the organization are that the Padres will use tomorrow's off day to line up the rest of the rotation for that series. If that is the case, it could be Michael King is not starting Friday, which unless he has a bad outing of the weekend would rule him out for game 2. That would presumably leave the second game up for grabs between Dylan Cease, who starts today, and Yu Darvish, whose turn in the rotation comes up Saturday, though it is not known if that is when he will start next, which is the entire conversation we just had. Correct?
Correct.
Are we on the same page here? Again, we understand what you're saying, Kike, but that's not what the report was from what the Padres were thinking about doing.
Correct.
It doesn't sound like they're interested in Michael King starting Tuesday. I think they want him for Wednesday. For game 3 is what it said. We need to pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Braden Surprenant Show on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I don't think people are understanding exactly the don't burn your pitching to get home field advantage if that means you don't get to use these guys in the said series.
Exactly.
That is what we're saying.
So are you going to be mad if you lose the division with, if you lose the wild card series with Pivetta, King, and a fresh Darvish and Cease? Or are you going to be more mad that Cease and Darvish have to start game one? Pivetta has to go game two. He's going to get pulled because he's only on a couple days rest. And then King, because he's only on a couple days rest, is going to get pulled. So you got 3 bullpen games. Which one are you going to be more annoyed with?
Exactly. Again, I agree with you. Like, if it means that they're not going to be available or at their best for next week, then don't use them. If you think you can use them this weekend and have them be fresh for next week, sure, yeah, go for it. I don't care.
Getting home field advantage, to me personally, getting home field advantage is not as important as making it to the next round of the postseason. That is basically what my argument comes down to. I put more emphasis on making it to the next round, putting myself in the best position to make it to the next round than getting home field advantage.
Well, the other thing is professional athletes who have built up to this all season. Who's pitching this weekend? The 2 guys that have built themselves up all weekend, or the 2 guys that have been injured for most of the year and haven't built themselves up for the entire season?
There you go.
Michael King has not done that. Michael King is not. You're a little worried about that, especially with Michael King, because you really need him to be 100% or as close to 100% by next week. So you need him to pitch this weekend to get an extra start in, and then hope that he's got enough built up as he basically is doing a rehab assignment at the major league level is what he's doing. Same thing with Darvish. Darvish missed a significant amount of time this season. It's not like all of these guys have pitched throughout the year. Those are the 2 in particular that are at an opportunity to pitch next week in the wild card, which is what the conversation.
We got one more read to get to real quick.
Oh, where the tacos at?
I'm waiting for the tacos. Where the damn tacos at?
This new lunch hour is brought to you by the Craft Taco, both flavors in 2 locations, Sorrento Valley and inside Balboa Park's Natural History Museum. There's your tacos, Jeremiah. Get them at Craft Taco. Where the damn tacos at? Padres baseball getting ready to start up. Equator SoCal Padres pregame show with Sam Levitt. When we come back, I'm done for the day. So is Frank. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow at the round table. Setting us over at Sports Station 97 to the Fan.